Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. We close out the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming. And I was reminded before we come to this next guest of a gentleman that was on this show many times, and a foreign part of that mojo mystique, so to speak, Mike Morgan, and I know this next guy that's coming up, what Mike meant to so many people with Mojo, and meant to a lot of us. Anytime I would need something from Mojo, I would talk to Mike or get from Mike. But so we're happy to have Terry Denmon on with us from Mojo TV and Mojo Outdoors itself. And I know Terry. We offer those words because we haven't talked to anybody from Mojo since Mike's passing. But, hey, buddy, we thank you for coming on. We thank you for the support Mojo has had for this radio show over the past 19 years. Anytime we'd ever need anything, you guys would come forward and do it. So TV's been good, too. Let's talk waterfowl. Bill Cooksey?
That's an interesting subject.
That is an interesting subject, right, Bill? You know it?
It's always an interesting subject, for sure.
Yeah, somebody said we talked it last week, in fact, I think, didn't we? It's been too long ago to figure it out. But, Terry, I know that talk a little bit about Mojo and the company itself, because our listeners out there, and me and Bill were kind of reminiscing about something called the spinning wing decoy that we first talked about on this show decades ago, and you guys were part of that and brought it on. But talk about Mojo and what it's come, and the TV show has added a lot to this. But talk about the company itself.
I'll do that. We are entering our 20th year this year.
20, okay.
We made our first decoys in 1999.
Bill,
but we actually went in business in the year 2000.
Okay, all right.
We just making decoys in 99, and it kind of came around pretty much by accident. But my original two partners, one of them was a guy named Murray Crow. He was a mechanical genius. He came from a big farming family, had a degree from LSU in agribusiness and all that stuff. But what he really liked to do was tinker with race cars and drive them. He built pulling tractors. He could balance people's racing engines and things like that. And so the spinning wing decoy concept actually came out of the Valley of California. We're given credit for that, but we did not do that. Some guys, Robert Matthews, did that in the Valley of California. Probably some people before him, but he was the first guy that made it commercially successful. And my other original partner was a guy named Jeff Simmons. Y'all know him. He owned Simmons Sporting Goods store in Bastrop, Louisiana, Bass Pro Size store. You wouldn't think they'd have that in Bastrop, Louisiana, but they do. Very successful.
Yes. Uh-huh.
He got on to the spinning wing concept, but he couldn't buy any. He had customers that wanted them. He couldn't get them. He called my buddy Murray Crow, asked him if he could make him some, and Murray said, yes, I can make you some. The way they did it in California, they used a little high-speed motor.
Yeah.
and they had to have a little set of pulleys and slow the wings down, and Murray didn't know how to size that up. I'm his engineer buddy, even though he and I have been hunting together since we were babies. He called me and asked me if I could size them pulleys, and I said, oh, yeah, that won't take 5 minutes. So we take a look at it. We said, that's not the way to do it. And we created a better mousetrap at that time.
And that's you opened the mousetrap, so to speak.
We did. We did.
You unleashed it, and then from humble beginnings, did you ever in your life realize it would come to this, Terry? I mean, I know you've loved the outdoors, grown up the outdoors. Former commissioner, if I'm not mistaken, of the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Commission. Bud, good for you on that. But he served as commissioner. My goodness, you were vice chairman for 2 years.
I was chairman for 2 years.
Oh, my. They make a lot of money doing that, don't they?
Exactly, zero.
Zero.
But everybody loves you, don't they, Terry?
Oh, they do. Well, about half of them love you and half of them hate you, depending on which way you vote. That's like most of politics.
That's just like most of politics. But
hey, now look, Mojo's done a lot of great things, but I've got to go back to about 2000, 2001 when we were all carrying spare our blind bags and stuff, because all those old ones with those little, rubber pulleys and stuff, you were always having to mess with them. And here comes Mojo, and suddenly we had a bulletproof spinning wing decoy, and that was big. That was big.
Well, there's an interesting story there.
Oh, I thought there would be. Yeah. Okay. What?
It came from the fact that my partner, did all that race car work and that type of work. And he figured out how to hook the wings directly to the motor. And it's a fairly complicated story. We probably don't have time to go through that today. But, once we hooked those wings directly to that motor, you have no transmission anymore. The motor turns, the wings turn. And we had this huge, big old motor in there. You couldn't hardly make it not turn. So, all that credit goes to Murray Crowe, but it sure revolutionized, spinning wing decoys revolutionized duck hunting, and Mojo revolutionized spinning wing decoys. That's basically the fact of the matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it got to be the name itself is so important. Did you come up with the name? Was that your?
Well, that's another very interesting story, because when we first made them, before we went in business, before Murray made the very first one, he told me one day, he said, "Well, Terry, can you help me come up with a name to this?" And I said, "Yeah. Needs to be short and snappy, rolls off the tongue, everybody can remember it." And he said, "What would that be?" And we grew up on farms pretty close together. And I said, "Well, my dad used to call this little mechanical device that we had on our farm that we didn't know what it was. He'd call it a mojo. We didn't know what mojo meant. He'd just say, 'Get that mojo and bring it over here.' So I said, that's as easy as you can be." So we named the first product a Mojo Mallard, not even knowing what mojo went. What mojo meant. And so when we decided to go in business, I had this excellent PR graphics type lady working for me in my engineering business, and I said, "Well, go make some taglines and all that type of stuff, And so she did that. She walks in my office one day and she said, "Denmon, you know what mojo means?" I said, "No, ma'am, I don't." She said, "Well, then you're the luckiest SOB alive, because by accident it means magic. So you have named your product Magic Mallard."
That's what it is. Yeah.
Better to be lucky than good.
Well, I guarantee you sold a bunch of them up at Avery up here, didn't you, Bill? I mean,
oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, y'all had to carry one of them with. Again, we're talking to Terry Denmon, the president CEO of Mojo Outdoors, and I know the TV show, Terry, very entertaining, but also you guys make an effort. You want to, and I know you've been this thing has really gotten bigger as it's gone over the years and everything, and a lot of us watch it, and you're the host of it and everything else. And talk about the TV show itself and the progression that you've been able to do on it, because you do make it entertaining.
Well, I got in the TV business basically because of Mike Morgan, the guy we just talked about.
That's what I want you to mention.
He's been part of Team Mojo forever. But when I met him, they owned a very successful production company.
Right.
And they made the very popular TV shows called Hunting Across America and Fishing Across America.
It. Yeah.
And they came to me to get a decoy. They needed a decoy because for the first time in their adult life, somebody started beating them on this lake that they hunted in North Mississippi. And they went down to see what it was, and they had a mojo, so they had to have one. You couldn't buy one in the store.
I think I know where that lake is. I think I know where that lake is.
That's when we met them.
Yeah.
And then we got to be friends. They got me to start go hunting with them, become a sponsor on their show. Actually, it became Mojo's Hunting Across America.
Yep. Yeah.
And then about 5 years into Mojo, I could see the need for Mojo to have its own TV show where it could control the content of it.
Yes. Yeah.
And I got that production company to make it for me, but within a year or two, they shut that company down, and Mike came on board on the Mojo team and made the TV show for us.
Yeah.
And so basically, Mike and I started making that show from the get-go, which is 15 years ago. We've been doing that for 15 years.
Yeah.
Our theory is just honest TV, honest hunting. We don't make up anything. We don't fix anything. We just go out there and go hunting, and we try to show the people that, how we did it so they can do it too, which is not to say that we know everything about hunting. We don't know everything about hunting. We just hunters, but we know some things, and we like for people to tell us how they do it. And the idea is just get the word out to people so they can be more successful. And as they become more successful, we get more hunters into the hunting game, which is a statistic that is direly needed.
And we can talk about this real quickly, Terry, because we've talked about the growth of the fishing industry this year because of the pandemic and because more people are outdoors. I think.
And turkey season did the same thing.
Yeah. We had record. What did we build? We killed over 40,000 turkeys in Tennessee this year.
Correct.
Because there was more hunters out there. So I think there's more people watching shows like you put on right now than maybe you've ever had a chance to. And I think what's your show? What's your show? Your show's on what?
Sportsman Channel.
The Sportsman's Channel.
And we have another one for the third and fourth quarter that airs on Pursuit Channel. It's called Mojo Migration.
That's on Pursuit. So
Pursuit Channel. So we actually airing 2 shows during the third and fourth quarter. And the Mojo TV show airs all 4 quarters on the Sportsman Channel.
And you've already shot the shows that are going on now, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, and you're already probably looking for next year. So what do you see? What's coming up for Mojo as far as anything new that we need to know about come fall or anything?
Well, yes, we have a few new things. We have those little mini flags. We had them out at the end of the season last year, and they were intended to be more of a goose hunting product than a duck hunting product, but they proved to be successful in duck hunting. But they are a dry field product, and as you know from about where you are on down south where we are, not a lot of dry field hunting going on.
No,
but, if you go west of us and north of us, there's a lot of it going on. And it kind of follows the concept that we developed on the Flocka flickers, where we showed we show without question, you don't have to make the decoy itself move. If you'll scatter movement in your decoy spread, the birds can't tell the difference in that. It appears to them as if the decoy spread itself is moving. That's one thing we've done. Another thing we've done is we've worked the last 2 or 3 years in upgrading our line of spinning wing decoys.
Yeah,
we came out with this Elite series, which has the flexible decoy body around it. And then last year we put a USB plug-in remote in those decoys. So if you want to buy a remote now, you just buy the little plug it in the breast of it.
Amazing.
And in about October, we'll have a Bluetooth version of that where you can control your decoy from your phone.
Amazing. Bluetooth. Oh, man. I mean, what are we getting into now? I tell you what. Terry, thank you. Thank you, Terry, for always educating us and everything, for being on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Mojo's one of our favorite folks. And they can go, Terry, to get more information where, as Ron Wong would normally say?
MojoOutdoors.com.
And it's magic, folks. Mojo is magic. That's what it is. Terry Denmon, thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you, okay?
All right. Glad to be here.
All right. Thank you. All right, Terry Denmon. All right. Quickly, next week be first Saturday. That means that Dave Gabbert and the Pun Master will be in here. Gene Smith we'll have on that, and we've got some surprise guests coming up to you. Will you? Thank you, Ron Wong. You there still, Ron?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Great show, and I got to tell you, it's been a great day, and I think I'm going to go fishing.
I think you'll go fish. You call Ron, he's not at home, says I'm going to catch a fish. I know that. He catches that same bass all the time. I know that. Bill Cooksey, thank you, buddy, okay?
Thank you, Larry. I enjoyed it.
All right, we're going to try this again. It doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport, and also God bless the USA. Oh, we can do it. One of these times we're going to get it right. We'll see you next week. Bye.